Hey guys, I just wanted to jump in real quick tonight. I know this is a very impromptu Q&A. Our official Q&A start next Wednesday night, but several people messaged me a variety of the same question. And the same question was really like, how do you stay consistent? A couple of people said, I'm not consistent with my food. A couple other people said they weren't consistent with their workout. Or their goals. And if you think about it, so much of what we do in life, and oh, got my good looking dog back there. She's always good for a thumbs up. But so much of what we do in life is, it's rote, right? We're on autopilot. And it gets us through. Like we have to do that, because otherwise, like if we had to think about everything we did all day long, we couldn't function and get anything done. So we have the ability to get by on autopilot, and the autopilot is in a way, it's like my dog. As soon as she knows that I've come into my office and sat down in front of my computer, she comes in and joins me, because that's what she does, right? That's her habit. And as long as I'm in here, she's in here. So you've got to look at yourself and go, okay, where am I on autopilot, right? And it's not just where am I on autopilot, but where is autopilot not serving me? Because a lot of times autopilot does serve us, right? Just getting through everything. But ask yourself, let's pretend like your question's around food. Like, I'm not eating the way I want to eat, and I'm not consistent with the eating that I want. How can I be more consistent? So there's a few things you can do to just like break the chain. One of them is you look for the smallest steps, like the littlest things you can change. And whatever that is for you, I'm gonna have to make something up, but let's just say that someone said that they wanted to be vegan, which is like kind of a really big thing to some people, but to this person, it's not, because she's done it before. So what's the smallest things that you can do to be able to stick with that? So for her, maybe one of them would be keep nuts and berries in their purse. So, when everybody's snacking, you've got something to snack on. Just like it's actually like being a detective. Like, you have to look into your life and go, what are the smallest things I can do? Like for me, when it comes to exercise, if I start slipping off of exercise, first thing I do is I always preload my day before. In fact, someone on the group, Deval on the group this week, said that, she preset her workout clothes. Absolutely, right? Like, I'm always looking for those little easy things. I know that in the morning, it's going to take me 15 to 20 minutes to get out of the house if I have to get all my stuff together for the gym. So I just preset everything out. It just makes it simple. So what are the littlest steps you can take? And then, that falls into the whole pre-planning. What are the littlest steps you can take that involve pre-planning for the next day, or what it is that you want? And it could be anything. Like, let's say it's food, going back to food. So you're going to, you want to become vegan. You're going to an event that evening. There's not going to be anything there that you really can eat. Or if there is, it's not something you really want. So the pre-plan is, okay, I'm going to have snacks before I go, or if you can, have dinner before you go. B, I'm going to walk in, and the first thing I do is get, whatever it is you're going to drink, and walk away from the counter where they sell all the food. C, have your food setting out or in the refrigerator ready for you to go when you get home. Like, just the pre-planning things, or the littlest things, just make such a super big deal. And then be vigilant, right? Like, a lot of times when we're not consistent, it's because we're really not even paying attention. Like, the end of the day, we get a little tired, we slip, and we're not paying attention. So you do have to keep your eye on what it is that you want, and know what it is that you want, right? Like for me, let's just say my example of me going and working out the next day, I know You've heard me say it before. I want to be able to do whatever I want to do whenever I want to do it. So that's a reward. But that's really like a way, way, way in the future reward, right? So I would want to bring that closer. And maybe I want to make a real reward, right? Maybe I tell myself that if I work out, if I set up a workout schedule and I'm going to work out 6 days this week. No, let's make it simple. I'm going to work out 3 days this week. And if I hit that 3-day, then I have a reward that I've created for myself. And it is front and center. I know what it is. I'm going to go get my toenails done, whatever it is. Create rewards as carrots. And if it's what you're doing is you're layering, right? We're layering everything. So you layer from being vigilant and coming up with small things. You layer by giving yourself a reward. You layer by what's going to hurt if I don't do it, right? Like, what am I running away from? I always look at that, like, what am I running toward? What am I running away from? So running away from, in the example for someone wanting to change her eating habits, maybe she's running away from not feeling good when you eat certain foods, right? Like some people are sensitive to certain foods. So you know that if you eat dairy, it's going to make you feel yucky. So you're running away from that. Or I know that if I don't go to the gym, then I'm going to feel kind of bad about it. And B, I'm off my schedule. And so now I've got to really like think about it. So I always look at what am I moving toward? What am I moving away from? Pleasure, pain, right? Then the other one is like, where's your accountability? Like, is your accountability to yourself, which it can be. Like, I mean, I know for myself, I have a schedule in front of me. I put out every day, I put out what I'm going to, I'm sorry, let me rephrase that. The beginning of the week, I schedule my entire week of what I'm going to do workout wise. And so then it's there. It's just like flat in front of me. I can't miss it, right? I'm accountable to that schedule because I can see it. Or maybe you've got a friend, even in the group, just post in the group, hey, I want to work out like the next 3 days, whatever it is, doesn't matter. Just say, this is what I want. You guys hold me accountable. Accountability it's a super, we want to be liked. Okay. Like that's the bottom line. Like we want people to like us. Accountability is one of our ways of going, if I do what I say I'm going to do, people will like me. It sounds so fluffy when I say that, but it's a very visceral need for us, right? So having friends that you say, hey, this is what I'm going to do. I'll text you after I get done, or I'll text you in the morning and say I just finished my workout, or I'll text you after the party and say I didn't eat the food I didn't want to eat. That's an accountability, a super simple one, and it works. Another one, and this one is like we're kind of moving up the level here. Another one is, how do you see yourself, right? Like, what's your identity? Is your identity someone who eats well? Is your identity someone who's an athlete? Is your identity someone who misses out on the workouts? I mean, what's your identity? Like, and the identity is simply like, how do you see yourself? And pick ways of seeing yourself that serve you, right? Like, pick things that serve you. I've been a vegetarian for half my life, 3/4 of my life, I don't know what. And people used to say to me, isn't that difficult? Like, how do you stick with that? And it never occurred to me because my identity was simply that I was vegetarian. And that's who I was. So I never changed it, right? So ask yourself, like, what's your identity? And if your identity is, I'm someone who doesn't exercise and I don't know how to get started, then let me know. Let's see how we can change this, okay? And then some of the other things you can do, like simple things, shake things up. Like I started out tonight talking about how so much of what we do is habit. So shake things up, do things differently, do things in different order. Like I mean, if you get up every morning and the first thing you do is get a cup of coffee, look at your phone, and take the dog for a walk, well, then the next day, maybe get up, take a shower, brush your teeth, walk the dog, and then come back for a coffee. What that does is it shakes up that autopilot that we talked about, and it just makes you start thinking about some of the different things that you want. Probably the last thing I would suggest is that every morning and every night, if you can, just write down what it is that you want. You know, write down, I am consistent with my exercise, or I am consistent with the way I want to eat, or I am a vegan, or whatever it is. Just write it down. Like, when you write it down, there's power in that, and it reminds your mind, reminds your brain that that's something that you want. So thank you. This was very quick, I know, and I appreciate those of you that stopped by. And next Monday night, we officially kick off with the coaching. We're going to be talking about how to schedule, like how to actually schedule your fitness and everything else so that it works in your world, because I know it's different for all of us. And I appreciate you so much. You have a wonderful, wonderful evening. I will see y'all later. Bye-bye now.